So before I say anything about Lilo and Stitch, I want to make it clear that I think the original movie, the animated one from way back in the day, is probably one of the best Disney movies of all time. I think Stitch is basically the Mickey Mouse of that generation. And even today, Stitch is one of the most popular Disney characters in the entire world. I was watching a lot of reviews of this one beforehand from my favorite people on YouTube, and most of them were really making me not honestly want to see it, because even though the trailers looked really cute and pretty close to the original, everyone was saying it was bad, and they made all these changes to Nani and Cobra Bubbles and Gantu and all these things, and everyone was basically saying it's not even really worth it. Disney's at it again. They're making another crap fest. It's bullshit. Don't even watch this. Well, I still really wanted to see it, because some part of me has a little bit of hope that Disney will come through and at least make a halfway decent one of these live action remakes. I haven't really enjoyed the majority of them, and this story is really important to me and a lot of people. So before going in, I decided I would try to put myself in a better mindset by watching videos of Maya, I believe is her name, the actress who plays Lilo, in her first role, watching her be excited about it and talk about how it is her favorite movie, the original, and that she's putting so much heart and soul into this. And, Stitch is coming back, the same actor who played him in the original, Chris Sanders, who is not really an actor, but he's always been Stitch and always will be, hopefully, Stitch. So seeing that those classic elements are there, there's heart and all of that, I wanted to at least give it a real try. Now, I will say this, and don't stab me for it because I know it's super controversial. I kind of liked it. Is it the original? Not at all. It is not in any way a shot-for-shot remake. If that's what you're going in here expecting, that is not what it is. This movie is a reinterpretation of what happened in the first one, with a lot of updated elements and some changes throughout. One of the biggest ones being that the character Gantu, who is a sort of space police officer trying to capture Stitch and take him back to the ship. Gantu is usually framed as being the villain, but really he's just not a very nice guy, but he's not a villain. Gantu is actually trying to save Earth by protecting us from this creature that was specifically designed to create destruction. His removal from the film is one of the biggest controversies. I don't love it, but I understand why it was done. I do feel like they did Jabba a little bit dirty, because he takes on the majority of that villain role, and it doesn't really feel like the same character, because initially in the animation he was way more of a part of the family in events, but in this one he's just kind of their antagonist, and at the end he doesn't end up with the family like in the original, the Ohana, so hopefully that's something that happens later on. But in order to save on budget and space, they didn't add Gantu as an extra character, and they gave his role, like I said, to Jamba. And basically, it's not the worst. It's not my favorite thing. I really didn't like that his accent was completely gone, but I probably do that so it's not reinforcing negative, Russian stereotypes. I'm not really sure. But I wasn't a huge fan of that aspect. But watching this movie, the most important things are Lilo and Stitch. Do they work in this movie? Are they as charming, as funny, and as believable together as in the animation? Pretty much. Honestly, I really love the dynamic between those two. For it being Maya's first movie, I am honestly pretty amazed that she acted so well with something that wasn't even there. Stitch looked great. It was very accurate design to how we would picture him. Their relationship really makes the entire film. A really big change, though, that people are very upset about is Nani and how she ends up in this movie. Now, this is some spoilers, but the main difference between this one and the original is in the ending. Because in the original, everybody ends up together But in the new one, it's a little bit more complicated because they added extra characters. David's mom is now a very important character, as she is somebody around to kind of be there for Lilo and Nani when Nani's too frustrated and other things like that, which a lot of people are upset about because she's supposed to do that on her own. But in my opinion, it actually wasn't that bad of a change. It's nice to know that other people on the island are that close with them, and plus it fleshed out David a little bit more. And he wasn't that bad in the movie. David was fine, though he did miss his most important line, which my favorite line is when he says, "She thinks it's fancy." It wasn't in the movie. Made me sad. A few lines like that are missing from the movie. So again, there's a lot of key moments people are upset are missing from here that were in the animation. It doesn't make the movie horrible without them, but they are nice little fan service moments. I think Disney missed a little bit by not including them. That doesn't necessarily make it a bad movie. It just takes it down from what it could be when it comes to making. A huge issue with them is that Nani gave up going to college to be a marine biologist so that way she could take care of Lilo. But as she's unable to provide for Lilo, and then Stitch and Jamba end up destroying her house, Nani fully basically loses custody of Lilo. And that's why a lot of people are upset is that they feel like she didn't fight hard enough for something, that she was being selfish, because in the end she does end up going to college and Lilo ends up staying with David's mother. But that's not really an unrealistic thing to say. They do not have a house at this point. She has not been able to hold down a job. Lilo has literally been in the hospital and needed insurance and wasn't able to get that because Nani didn't have it. So it's really unfortunate, but it is much more realistic that she would not be able to keep Lilo. And it is nice that Lilo goes with their neighbor, and in order to mend the fact that they changed it so that way she and Nani were not together full time at the end, there is an added element of a portal gun that was being used throughout the film by Jamba pretty ineffectively to try to capture Stitch. The portal gun allows Nani to see Lilo whenever she wants, so they are able to maintain this new Ohana and give Nani the dream that she had initially. But when everyone says that she's being selfish, I don't agree, because the movie stressed that Lilo said that she wanted her to go. Nani tried over and over again to say, "I cannot leave you, I cannot do that, I know you need me." And Lilo said, "Please, I will be okay, follow your dreams for a little bit, and then come back and we can be better. I can still see you with the portal gun, they can still be a family, everything is going to be good." And everyone gets to follow their dreams. And it's like a newer form of not leaving anybody behind by allowing everybody to get what they want from life. Lilo has a family. She has a best friend that cares about her just like she wished for. And then Nani is able to know that Lilo's safe and taken care of and has her job. Blakely gets to live on Earth, which he's obsessed with, just like in the original, and it makes him so happy to be a part of this family and continue to study the planet. A lot of these elements still work and are almost identical to what they were in the original. That's why it surprised me once I actually finished watching the movie how many people hated it, because a lot of these things are either identical or aren't so big of a change that I feel like they ruin the movie, but to a lot of people they absolutely do. They went in expecting a shot-for-shot remake, but that is just not what this is. And I'm telling you now, this movie is good. It is charming and it has a lot of heart. But it redefines what family means. Especially compared to the original, which can work and it can also ruin a movie. Like, with Snow White, they tried to redefine what being fairest of them all means. And that was a complete misfire. But with Lilo and Stitch, they're trying to change it to say extended family, and following your dreams and being supported by that family are all parts of Ohana. So I can't really say that they missed the mark for me. I thought it was a very charming movie, and I feel like they did a really good job with this update. A few other things that I'll note is that Cobra Bubbles was separated into two characters. They made an actual social worker, and then Cobra Bubbles, who is an FBI agent who pretends to be a social worker briefly. But they are working together to figure out what's best for Lilo and Stitch. But the entire reason, in my opinion, that the actual social worker and Cobra Bubbles are now two different characters is because they wanted to create an original role for Tia, who played the original Nani back in the animated version. They wanted to give her a prominent, important role, but they didn't really have anything outside of the main ones that existed, so they ended up making her the social worker, which I'm not really sure why they didn't just make her the adopted mother, but anyway, they made the choices that they did. It wasn't all terrible. I really hope you guys take the time to see it and form your own opinion, because it's not nearly as bad as a lot of people are saying. Even a lot of the people here on YouTube are just completely missing the mark and not understanding that sometimes you can make something great, or even at least really good, without it being a shot for shot of the original, which is, of course, probably the best Disney movie of all time. So I get it has a really high bars to hit here, but when it comes to the other live actions, which are down here, this movie's at least up here for me. And then the original, it's in the sky. You can't find it. But I really hope you check it out, and I really appreciate you watching this. I really like this movie, and if they make a sequel, please do. The main girl who played Lilo, freaking phenomenal. Absolutely deserves all the praise. She's awesome. The movie's really good. Please check it out.